Hi, I'm Ben, Managing Director of Impact Subsea, and today we're looking at the ECHOGRAM feature within the ISA500. Now, when you run CView v3, you'll be presented with a screen very similar to this one, and when you connect your ISA500 to CView, it'll show up as a tile here. Double-clicking on the ISA500 will bring up the ISA500 application. Now, within the ISA500 application, you've got your distance reading in the top left-hand corner, you've got the temperature of the sensor itself inside the sensor. If you have AHRS enabled in the ISA500, you'll also have heading, pitch and roll, and a 3D model shown on screen. And these values will update as the ISA500 is mirrored. So if we move the ISA500 in real time, you can see the heading, pitch and roll change along with the 3D model. We also have a turns counter on screen, which will count the number of turns of the ISA500 about a specified axis. Below that, we have a graph of distance over time on the screen. Now, for those with echogram capability, if you navigate to the left-hand side of the screen, click on Show Echogram. If you click on Show Echogram, it'll bring up the echogram graph, and we can adjust the value of that graph. So I'll just adjust it so it's full size on screen just now. And what we're seeing being presented on screen is a graph slowly building up. Now, at the moment, the ISA500 is set to ping at just 1 Hertz, so it's doing 1 ping per second. So the graph is quite slowly building up. We can adjust the ping rate of the ISA500. On the left-hand side here, there's a ping interval button. If you click that, you can select how many times a second the ISA500 should ping. And you can select anywhere from 1 Hertz to 10 Hertz or maximum. The maximum rate you can ping at will be dependent on the range at which the ISA500 is set to look over, and also the bandwidth of your serial communications. For now, we'll set it to maximum, so we'll get it pinging as quickly as we can. So we can see a graph building up a lot quicker on screen just now. Now, at the moment, the ISA500 is just in our test tank behind me here, and it's sitting statically at a set height. So we're just getting quite a flat line. If we take the ISA500 and move it in the water a little bit, so if I lower it down, you can see the graph representing the lowering of the ISA500. And if we rise it back up again, you can see the ISA500 coming back up on screen there. If you move it up and down, you'll get a nice kind of sinusoidal graph showing there. And again, if you just tie it off so it's sitting there statically, you get a flat line again. Now on the left-hand side, you can adjust the color of the echogram data. So we're using the multicolor chart just now, but you can also use a gold palette or a more blue palette. I'll leave it on the multicolor chart for the rest of the demo. On that graph there, you can also adjust a red box at the lower part of the color chart. That is a threshold. So if you bring that up, it will remove the weaker returns and only show you the stronger returns on screen. If you bring it down, it'll show you more, and bring it right down to the bottom, it'll show you every single return there. You can also move the tab at the top. This acts as a compression on the color chart, and it'll increase the contrast on screen. So if you bring that down quite a lot, you get a higher contrast image. On the right-hand side of the software application, you'll find an ECHOGRAM Options button. If you click this, it'll bring up a few other options you can tweak. One is the number of lines on the x-axis. If this is set to auto, it'll lock the number of lines in the x-axis, the number of pixels on screen. In this case, 1,492. The ISA500 has the capability of outputting up to 2,000 samples per ping. So that's the maximum number you can show on screen at one time. You can disable the auto feature, and you can put in a set number of lines or samples to be returned. We can set that to any value from 0 to 2,000 that we want. Or if you put it back to auto, it'll just lock it to the pixels on screen again. There's a gain here, which is purely a software gain. So this will adjust the data which is on screen. So you may want to tweak this, turn it up if you're looking for weaker echoes, so you can see them more clearly. You can also invert the y-axis. You can blank the minimum range. If that's turned off, you'll see the transmission burst of acoustic energy from the ISA500. If you turn that on, it'll just blank that out, so you don't need to see it. If smoothing is turned on, it'll give a little bit of interpolation between each ping and just give the data a nicer, smoother look. And you can also turn on and off the color palette if you don't want to have that showing on screen. Again, just give another quick demo. So if we move it up to the highest point, you can see the graph there showing a high reading. If we slowly lower it down, you can see that going down there. You can see most of the returns are quite red because we're getting quite a high energy return off of the base of our tank. If you're doing this in open water, if you had a stony kind of seabed, you'll get quite high energy returns. If it's sand, slightly less energy. If it's covered in marine growth, you get slightly less energy still. The benefit of Echogram is you'll be able to see the marine growth sitting on top of the seabed. If you want a full overview of the ISA500 application, including all ISA500 acoustic settings, check out our ISA500 overview video. Thank you.